In today's video, I'm going to show you if you follow exactly what I tell you to do, you will become more securely attached and more attractive to your partner. One of the hardest things for me to realize was that I even had anxious attachment. I was completely unaware of the behavior for such a long time. I just thought that was who I was. And the thing is I thought I was needy. I just thought that I was a needy guy and that I needed this. But after I started to do some really hardcore work on myself, and I got into therapy, and I started using a coach, and I started reading books, and I started to meditate, and I started really focusing on myself and trying to raise myself to the highest version that I could be, I realized that I had anxious attachment. And so chances are, if you're watching this video, you might have avoidant attachment, you might have anxious attachment, or there's a possibility that you're watching this and you might already be securely attached. But whatever it is, if you follow some of these things, it will help you. This video specifically is going to be on anxious attachment. I know that I have done videos on anxious attachment previously, but I want to do another one because it means a lot to me. So, specifically in anxious attachment, what happens is there's been tons of studies done, and your attachment style is usually developed by your mother. That's your attachment style is developed from your relationship with your mother and the way that your mother parented you when you were a child. So an avoidant person would have a parent that was not really there for them. So they're fearful of becoming attached to somebody because they're afraid that person isn't going to show up for them. Now, anxious attached is somebody who had a mother that was in their life that was very supportive but was not consistent. So maybe that means that your mother was a work and traveled a lot. Maybe it meant that your mother was you didn't see your mother because your parents were divorced, and so the time that you had with her was specifically only for a period of time where you felt that nurturing, and then it was gone for the next time that you were with your father or whatever parent situation you have. So specifically in my situation, I had both of those things. When I was a child, my mother traveled a ton. She wasn't really home a lot, and then my parents split, and so I had this really loving, nurturing mother figure in my life, but it was intermittent. And so what happens is I developed an anxious attachment. So first off, we have to love, the first thing that we have to do is once we realize that we have this, is we have to love ourselves. Because if you're anything like me, when I found out I had anxious attachment, I began to beat myself up. I was so upset with myself that I was this type of way, and that I felt like I needed all these things. But in the actual sense of it, anxious attachment is just like a secure attachment or avoidant attachment. It does come with some things that are hard to deal with, and you have to learn to work through them. But by any means, we have to love ourselves in our journey no matter where we're at. So in anxious attachment, you may find yourself that you have a desire for affection or love that is insatiable. It cannot be satisfied. Maybe you have an experience where you have extreme feelings of jealousy with your partner, or maybe you need so much time with your partner, or maybe your partner will go out with friends and you will not hear from your partner for a period of time, and you freak out. You think, oh my God, they're cheating on me. And you just go down the rabbit hole. And all of this stuff happens when your partner is away from you. And so anxious attachment partner with avoidant. So an avoidant will run away because they're scared. And an anxious person will want to be so secure, so attached. So what happens is in an avoidant and anxious relationship, it creates this cycle, right? But the idea is to firmly and get to this point where we become secure. So first, we have to love ourselves and know what our patterns are. Second, we have to learn to self-soothe. We have to learn to love ourselves in moments, because you're going to have that feeling. That feeling is going to come up with your partner. Say your partner goes out of town, or she goes out with friends, or he goes out with friends. That feeling is going to come. It's going to be like that feeling, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That feeling is going to come. You can expect it. Just know that it's going to happen. But we have to stop ourselves. And we have to realize that we have to soothe ourselves. And maybe this means picking up the phone and calling a friend and telling a friend how you feel. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's listening to music. Maybe it's going to the gym. Whatever it is, we have to find a way to soothe ourselves in that moment. Then, this is the big one. This one's really big. I couldn't even believe it when I was in this and I was told this. So I had a situation where a partner was out to eat with a girlfriend, and I completely lost it. Like, I was in my head thinking that they were like out gallivanting around town with some guy, like all this stuff. And I had to stop myself in my tracks. But then I shared it with a coach at the time that I was in session with. And my coach was like, you should go and you should like tell your partner that that's what you were thinking about. I was like, hell no, I'm not going to tell her that. Why would I tell her that? She'll leave me. He's like, well, that's exactly the reason that you need to tell her. See, because the problem is that you're afraid if she sees who you are, that she's going to leave you. And she needs to know this about you. Because this is how we get to secure attachment, is we have to show them who we are. Because we're so afraid, we want to hold on to the attachment so strongly and so firmly that we're so afraid that if we let go and allow them to be, that we still can't be secure in ourselves. So what I did is I sat down with my partner and I explained to her, like, hey, well, you were out, like I felt this way and this was what was going on with me. And like I started to get really anxious and I felt, and like I explained, like I have anxious attachment. This is new. This is why I think I have it. Like I explained all this thing. And my partner was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Like, thanks so much for telling me that. Like, you know what? Like, I'll text you more next time now that I'm aware of this, and I'll let you know so you're not feeling that way. I don't want you to feel that way. And I was like, holy shit. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that my partner like was willing to like work through this with me. So we have to advocate for the way that we feel, and we have to ask for what we need. If like you are in the journey, right, of healing and getting to security, you have to say, listen, I've had a history with partners who have cheated on me. And because of this, like I have a hard time when I'm away from my partner in these type of situations. And because of that, I get anxious. And I want to tell you that because there's ways that you could help me get to this point that we are like more secure with each other. And when you do that, you create a pathway and a communication to allow yourself to become more securely attached. And so practicing these things, self-soothing, right? We rewire the patterns in our brain. So, for example, say this specific situation. So my girlfriend goes out with her girlfriend. And in my head, I'm like I'm creating this story in my head. She's going to be with a guy. She's going out with a guy. She's not telling me the truth. She's lying to me. She's with another guy. And then what happens is this is the lie, right? The lie that I tell myself is on autopilot in my head. But then when I don't get the text, or I don't hear back in the time that I've created in my head, then I get confirmation bias, right, to myself that this is my reality. So the next thing is we have to be firmly planted in reality. Because 9 times out of 10, when we're in our anxious cycle, we're not in reality. We are completely created something in our brain that is not real. It doesn't exist. We're living so far in the future, or we're taking past experiences and holding our partner hostage for them in the moment. I know that it's hard if you've been hurt. I have been there. I have been through the ringer. I have had bad things happen to me with partners. But if you want to become securely attached, you are going to have to live in the now. And that means that sometimes we have to step away. We have to step away from the moment and not engage. And we have to stop doing the behaviors that reopen the wound. Like if she's out with her friend, but you're checking your phone every 15 seconds to see if she's actually responded, or maybe you're on social media and seeing if she read the message. Whatever it is, you have to stop that behavior, because that behavior is only going to continue to keep you in angst and anxious attachment. You're going to be just flat spinning over and over and over again in this cycle. So again, awareness. We love ourselves no matter who we are and what part of the journey we're in. Then we allow ourselves to be in the now. We communicate our needs and what we want from our partner. And then we also communicate where we're at in our journey. And then we have to learn to self-soothe. Realize that even though your partner can help you get to secure attachment, the job to get to security is within you. And it all exists inside of you. A partner can totally help. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It can help you tremendously if you have a partner to get you there. But also we have to be careful, because it can also develop codependency. So we have to remain that we are our pillar. We are solid in ourselves. And our goal should be always to learn to soothe and carry ourselves into this reality. And so by practicing this, right, and by getting into this motion of what I've just all said to you today, is we're going to get to a place where we are solid. And we begin to trust not only our partner, but we learn to trust ourselves. And we know that no matter what circumstance, bad situation or not, if it happens to us, we're still going to be okay. So if you like this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. And as always, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. And have an amazing, awesome night. Enjoy the journey. I love you guys. Take care.